A Nightmare on Elm Street, the movie that built New Line Cinema and revolutionized the horror genre with a charismatic and terrifying monster in Freddy Krueger. Written and directed by the legendary Wes Craven, A Nightmare on Elm Street distinguishes itself from other horror movies of its time by having an excellent cast, great writing, and a general sense of care being put into every part of the film. The story is incredibly well thought out and utilizes the two most important aspects of horror movies, as well as introducing a third one. See, the first thing that a horror movie needs is a seemingly insurmountable threat, like your Xenomorph or Jason Voorhees or Freddy, bringing a threat that seems unbeatable, with his visuals and settings being literal nightmare fuel. As such, his powers and the logic in the world that he resides kind of follow this dreamlike mentality where anything can happen at any time, really leaving a jarring and in stark contrast to the world that we know. At any point you can be sleeping in a classroom and then wake up in some weird rickety shack that you've never been to before, being hounded by some clawed monster. It gives the character, and by extension the writers, free rein to pretty much do whatever they need to. It also allows for any illogical or strange things that happen in these nightmare sequences to not go unnoticed, but go accepted and even understood, creating a much deeper feeling of immersion and acceptance into this world that's being created. Now, the second thing that really creates a successful horror movie is mystery. As such, for a majority of the runtime, there's this mystery revolving Freddy. Who is he? How did he get here? Why is he doing this to these children? As the teenagers experience these horrible nightmares, we notice there's some strange disconnect in the parents. They seem to know more than they're letting on. And as the story progresses, we discover that the parents tracked down this Christmas enthusiast and murdered the shit out of him, giving him the hate boner from hell, kinda literally. The third thing, which Nightmare kinda started, is the funny and humorous villain. See, before Freddy, horror villains had this very bad habit of being pure evil or screaming monsters. There was really no middle ground and no personality to them. But Freddy, by contrast, loves the banter. The joking and shit-talking he does to his victims is an absolute joy to watch, as he delights in the enjoyment of torturing his victims. It feels kind of like a train wreck. It's awful, but it's hard not to look at it. And this formula that was created by Freddy is felt to this very day. Chucky, Ghostface, hell, Heath Ledger's Joker. It could all be argued to come from the same inspiration, from Freddy Krueger. Now, all cards on the table, this movie isn't perfect, but the good in it is so overshadowing that the few flaws that there may be are just completely unnoticed. For example, when Freddy shows up and stretches his arms out in one of the early scenes, it looks pretty fake, but his makeup and the wonderful soundtrack absolutely makes the scene spine-chilling and invigorating. The movie's wonderful. I mean, the teen actors feel real, have a genuine personality, and which, before I forget, yes, this is Johnny Depp's first movie, and yes, he does a good job. In fact, all of the actors do a pretty damn good job. And that's what makes the standout performance by Robert Englund so amazing. All of these other actors are bringing their A-game to pretty much every scene, and Robert Englund's Freddy Krueger absolutely steals the show in almost every scene that he's in. But at no point does it feel like he's outweighing the competition or making himself look better than everybody else. He just is the driving force in the movie. And it really speaks that he can hold that so well without being overshadowed by other actors. Well, I guess that's about it. And for the record, yes, A Nightmare on Elm Street, the 1984 original, absolutely holds up to this day. It's a wonderful example of media, and if you get the chance, I absolutely recommend watching it. You can watch it from most streaming services, although you'll probably have to pay for it. Or you can pick it up from your local Walmart or other retail stores, especially with Halloween right around the corner. This has been an uncommon review of the 1984 A Nightmare on Elm Street. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And feel free to leave a comment telling me how much you hate my buttery monotone voice. I am the Uncommon Writer, and I'll see you next time.